Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. And so glad you could join us for Sportsline Trivia tonight. We're the day after St. Patrick's Day, so any green beer that you may have left over will be over after the show. Mike Pavlik joins me tonight here on the program. Mike, good to have you. I understand you were in Florida for a week.
I was. I snuck away for about a week.
You got a great tan.
Thank you. It was very nice. I worked hard for that. It was cold. I get the most sun on a day that...
You watched a few Pirate games?
I did. The most sun I got, it never got to 60 degrees that day.
Oh,
it's very the strangest weather I've ever seen. And then you come up back here to this and
we're green with envy. Yeah.
And I saw the Buccos. So if anybody wants to talk some Buccos today,
all right,
I'm ready to go. I have scouted them thoroughly.
Okay, 724. Where's that number, Mike? 236-0430. 724-236-0430, the number.
And we have open lines, so call.
Yeah, we do have one caller to kick us off. Let's go over rules and regulations on winning a prize here in the program. If you're new to Sportsline, you should know this, that when you're done with conversation, we give you a trivia question and you can win a prize. The Grand Salami or the Mystery Profile, you can try or win once a month, but the Mystery Profile, you can only try once a month. Okay. Now, if you win a prize as a first-time caller, you'll win more than one. We give you 15 seconds for the multiple choice. The Grand Salami goes up to 20 seconds. In the Mystery Profile, we go clue by clue and we try to go quickly. As I said, if you've not called over the last year, you've been along or away for so long, we consider you a new caller. So that's in your favor. The answers to the trivia questions you can find on my website, which is doubledribblebob.com. Also, my radio program now picks up on WGBN radio. They're 1150 on the dial locally, as well as WAVL, my standby. Also Saturday morning at 9:10 on the dial at 10 o'clock. Okay, 724-236-0430, the number. Mike, the Penguins, the longest winning streak, I don't know in how many years.
It's been a while, right?
Okay. Which is great.
9 in a row.
The Pirates, and we're doing this show live streaming on a Monday, winning today in exhibition play 4-3.
Against a bunch of minor leaguers masquerading as the Boston Red Sox.
Okay. I did some reading on the Red Sox, and Tom Yawkey was kind of like what we call the Pirate management of today in his day.
Thrifty. That's a good way to put it.
Sold Babe Ruth. No, that was Frazee.
Right, that was Harry Frazee. He sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees.
Because he needed money for show business production.
Right, that seemed to be the what that was all about back in those days. There seems to be some dispute on that as it comes later on, but still, he needed the money, and the Babe was. They hadn't figured out the point that you might want to put Babe in the field. The Babe was doing a lot of pitching for the Red Sox, and things might have been a little bit different. But
one of our questions tonight on the multiple choice, the only Hall of Famer to hit a home run off of Babe Ruth. It's number 6, I believe.
Yeah,
number 6.
That's impressive.
Only one Hall of Famer has hit a home run off of Babe Ruth.
There weren't a lot of home runs in those days, you know.
Well, that's true.
Until
Babe started
came along.
pitching, 1913 or 1911? I'm not sure.
Yeah, somewhere in that area. And he didn't start playing full-time in the field, I think, until 1920 when he went to the Yankees? 1919?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in the notes. He was he saved baseball after the Black Sox scandal, which happened in the 1919 season. I believe it might have been 1921 he went to the Yankees.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, we'll talk about anything you want to.
March Madness, kids. You ready for March Madness? You got your bracket? I have a bracket.
Mike has his bracket all filled out.
There it is, right here.
Mine remains blank, and all I do is write in the names of the teams as they progress so I can follow it.
The key is going to be, Bob, to see how long this actually lasts and not crumpled up and thrown in the garbage. If I can get to Friday, then I'm usually pretty happy. Many times on the first Thursday, it's done. I get rid of it. So I just entered one on here, and we'll see how we come out with it. But I'm telling a member of our studio audience out there that I have a lot of chalk on my hands after filling mine out, but that's usually the way I work it.
All right, folks, commercial break, and then we're coming back. I've not been told who's on the line, but we'll take them as they give them to me here. Again, 724-236-0430. Mike and I will return. I'm Bob Tattern, and we'll be right back.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services. Putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys, Lower Borough. If you're shopping for a pre-owned vehicle, make sure that you stop or at least call Tower Auto Sales on Freeport Road in Blawnox. Now with Tower Auto Sales, you have the luxury of choice because where you buy your vehicle is just as important as what you buy. So let the experienced sales staff at Tower Auto Sales help you. Start with the big cheese, Mike Fanto. Give them a call at 412-828-6202. And before we go in with the first caller, which I think is Tony, can you guys kill my earpiece there? Thank you. It sounds like we're in a windstorm when I have that extra mic on.
Or underwater in the yellow pages.
All right, Tony, welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hi, Tony.
How you doing, guys?
Terrific.
Wonderful.
Hey, Bob, that number 6 question, is that up next on multiple choice?
No.
Ah, crap.
In fact, we start with number 7. You know who it is?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? For the heck of it, let me see if you're right.
Sam Rice.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that'll be the first time that'll be right. Probably the last.
That's extra credit towards something else.
That's all right. All right. It's amazing, the Penguins. It seems like when one of their superstars go out with an injury, all of a sudden the defense tightens up. And they start playing this great defense. And as soon as the guy comes back, forget it. They go back to their regular, offensive schemes and lose.
No, we have a question mark right now with the Penguin defense with Chris Letang.
Yeah, we don't know what his injury is.
Did
he get cut with a skate? They're saying no, that he just aggravated something that had happened to him before. But
well, I seen the guy put a stick right in his gut. I mean, would that aggravate it?
There was that. I mean, there were a few things that happened. He got slashed.
Well, he was going. Him and the guy was going towards the boards for the puck, and the guy stuck the tip of the club right into his belly.
Speared him right in the stomach. Yeah.
And then after the guy skated away, he doubled over.
Right. And that could be enough. That could be enough to get you out of the game.
I would think so. Maybe. I don't know.
But
like I said, last year Crosby's out. and they played terrific. They played defense and that, and then when he comes back, forget it. So and then Malkin was out before, and he was out for a good while. They played great, and then he comes back and forget it. I mean, why can't they play like that when they're both there? It boggles my mind.
Sometimes they just play a little bit more, they pay a little bit more of attention to defense because they know they're not going to score as many goals.
Right. They're missing the goals, they're missing the assist.
And that's all in their head, too, because they could do that with them all out there, There's no rule that says...
I mean, say, hey, we're playing, we won 9 in a row, Malkin's not here. When he comes back, let's keep playing the same way.
Exactly.
Tony, you got to remember that 90% of the game is half mental.
Thanks, Yog.
Yeah, Yogi, all right, baby. So they must get together and say, hey, we're missing, we're missing one of the big guys, so we better start paying attention in that. So I wish they would just do that all the way through, and nobody would touch it probably. But
I'll tell you what, they're playing great, and even the Boston game last Tuesday was outstanding, and they came back against Toronto like that, and
yeah, well, I mean, they're playing top-notch teams, in this stretch.
And they are. And they're playing a lot of home games now. And you knew that they kind of scuffled to start the season at home. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's just too much talent there to continue to play like that at home. And eventually, there was going to be a streak. And then now it's happening at home. And they'll play tomorrow night at home against Washington. Friday they go to Long Island. Then they have 5 in a row at home.
Oh, there you go.
And everyone's talking about Miami chasing down the Miami Heat chasing down the NBA record, which is 33 consecutive wins. If
the Lakers.
If the Penguins can get through the next 2 and get to 11, and then have those 5 games in a row at home, the NHL record is 17. But I don't care if they break it or not because they already have it.
Yeah, I know they did.
Either way.
So, well, hey, let's at least tie it. Let's put a little room between us and the rest of the guys.
Right.
But I could never wish a team not winning them all. Let's put it that way. So I would rather see that than saying, well, they have the record. I don't want them to break it, but whatever.
It's going to be a different Capitals team, by the way, when they come in to play us. Huh?
Yeah, they seem to be playing a little bit better now. They seem to they'll win a game or two to kind of get themselves back going, and then they kind of take a step back with the new coaching staff and everything. And Ovechkin's just not the same player that he was a couple of years ago. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it might be.
Maybe he's just tired of losing.
Maybe he's just that can happen.
Yeah.
It could be that. It could be.
Maybe he's injured. Nobody, they're not saying.
Maybe he's not taking some of the same things he was taking before.
Oh, that's true.
Those things you always have to wonder about stuff like that now. So. We'll see. They could be dangerous. I think their goaltending's a little weak, and and the depth on their roster. They've lost a lot of people since they were really good. And they fired Bruce Boudreau, who goes out to Anaheim, and they have the second best record in the league. So NHL loves to recycle coaches.
Oh yeah.
By the way, there's a story I tell on occasion when people bring up the name of Boudreau, that on the occasion of 9/11. He was scheduled to fly to a scouting conference about, some players they were looking at. And they called him and said, we're going to back it up a day, or we're going to move it up a day. I forget which way it went. But he canceled a flight that would have put him on one of those 2 planes that went into the towers. And, he was very, very fortunate.
Wow.
Just a luck of the draw. That's all. You hear a lot of stories like that.
Yeah,
you do.
Where a guy. Well, I golfed with a guy, and when it would start rumbling, it could be 100 miles away. He heard that rumble. He said, "Let's go. That's where we're going." He said, "It's. I heard the rumble." I said, "Hey," I'm scared of lightning too, but that's far off. He said, "Listen," he said, "when I was a kid, I was a caddy. I came out and I was caddying, and I wasn't feeling too good. My buddy says." I forgot what hole he was on, but he says, hey, I'll go up on top of the hill. He said, you stay here, you ain't feeling good. Kid went on top of the hill, and lightning hit him and killed him. So, you know what I mean? So there you go. He said, it should have been me. So that's just the luck of the draw, buddy.
It's the way it goes.
Yep, when your number's up.
Your number is up.
Oh, that's it. So in the meantime, is it me, or does it look like the Steelers want to win anymore?
I really don't know, and I'm not going to make any final decisions on what I see until after the draft and after they're finished. But, you know, the Ravens are kind of doing the same thing. They got to be sitting back in Cincinnati and saying, I kind of like the way this offseason's going so far.
Oh, sure.
They haven't added anybody, but the Steelers and Ravens are just, you know, losing people left. And then the people they bring back Matt Spaeth. It makes me want to go out.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it.
You know,
and then I heard somebody say he was one of the best blockers. Oh, yeah, where at?
Exactly. He wasn't any good at any phase of his game.
He couldn't catch a cold. Oh, my God. I just don't understand this. And another thing that drives me crazy, and I don't hear nobody ever talking about it, all right? We have players with Super Bowl rings on their fingers, Pro Bowl appearances, Hall of Famers that just ride off into the sunset, and we get nothing. We started with Franco Harris. What did we get for Franco?
Yeah, but by then nobody wanted him.
Well, I don't care. I mean, maybe he should have went a couple years before that.
Well, that's a possibility too.
How about Woodson? What do we get for Woodson?
They made a big mistake on Woodson. They should have just kept him and moved him to safety. But here was the thing: he didn't want to hear that he needed to move to safety. So he said, "Don't do it. I'm not doing it." So they let him go. They let him become a free agent. The Ravens turned him into a safety, and the rest is history, as they say. Same thing happened with
Burris. What do we get for him?
Same thing. Exactly. I know.
Who's this?
But you
Holmes.
don't.
What do we get for him?
But in the NFL, you don't get things for people. That isn't how it works.
Just traded their wide receiver for a third-round choice.
Who's that?
I mean, the Ravens just.
Bolden. That was a sixth-round pick, wasn't it?
No, third round.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
no, it was no.
It was a six. I don't care if it was the 26th. It was the sixth. You're right. But I don't care if it was a 26th. They got something for it.
Well, but the only reason they did it was because he wouldn't take a pay cut.
Well, naturally. Well, Harrison too.
Yeah, but
he would take a pay cut.
And I read this morning, Peter King. No one wants James Harrison.
Well, no, I don't.
He may end up crawling back.
You know, at one time we had a real promising young core of wide receivers. All gone.
Mm-hmm.
No more.
Well, not all gone. Two of the three are still here.
Give them time.
They signed Brown. Sanders didn't go anywhere yet.
He's dickering with who?
New England, I heard. But he hadn't signed the offer sheet yet. But they'd just match it if they really wanted to.
Well, but they won't match it.
Let someone else negotiate for you. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but I guarantee they won't match it. They'll take a third-round draft choice and get some rum dump.
I don't know. It depends what it is. I mean, do you like Emmanuel Sanders that much? I don't.
Well, let's put it this way. You know, he's better than
maybe better than nothing.
Before, but you know, you got to give him a chance. He hasn't been there that long.
But he's had a chance. He's always hurt.
Well, well, there's another.
He completely disappeared in that Ravens game. That was enough for me right there.
Well, you know, a lot of people disappeared.
Yeah, but they won that day, and that was the worst part. I mean, they won that day, and no thanks to him.
I got to wave both you guys off. We got a time constraint.
I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. Time flies when you're having fun, right, Tone?
I'm not gonna push it.
That's all right.
All right. What's trivia? You gonna go with a salami?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, pick a number.
Let me get. Let me see. What am I going to miss today? Number 4.
You want to do it, Mike?
Sure. What's your number, Tony? How many do you have? 23?
24.
24. Okay, you already hold the record then. Okay, you just try to extend. Here you go. Who was the first NFL place kicker to convert 100% of his field goals and extra point tries in the same regular season? The first NFL place kicker to convert 100% of his field goal and extra point tries
in one season.
In the same season, correct.
How about, first. How about Lou Groza?
That's not it.
Oh.
Chuck Noll called him La Machine.
Gary
Anderson.
Gary Anderson.
Gary Anderson. With the Minnesota Vikings. I believe it was 1997 or 8. He made every kick and then missed his first miss, his only miss, was the one that would have sent the Vikings to the Super Bowl, and he missed it, and the Vikings lost, and the Falcons went. The one he absolutely had to make, he didn't.
Ain't that something? Unbelievable.
He was a heck of a kicker, though.
Yeah.
Tony, thanks for the call.
All right, guys. Have a great
All right, break time here in the program. Break time. We're going to be coming back with Chris on the phone when we return. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Why do Arnold Furniture's customers continue to come back year after year? Maybe it's the personal touch that the Miller family has provided since 1975. Maybe it's the prices that are consistently lower than the competition. Or how about the selection? 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. Plus free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. The choice is obvious. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
And Mattio's Pizza and Subs has it all, including their signature Iron Man hoagie. Still tops in my book anyway. Hand-tossed peaches, gyro sandwiches, subs and hoagies, calzones, strombolis, wingdings, and lots more. Greatly, prepared, professionally done. Everything in the menu is just super at Mattio's Pizza and Subs. And they have, of course, their new location. They've been up there now for a few months. 1000 Broadview Boulevard, that's right at the traffic light when you first get into Brackenridge Heights. Phone number 72, I got a peek now. There it is, 724-904-7312. We're going to say hello to Chris on the telephone. Chris, welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Okay.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Hi, Chris.
Oh, I'm in the office tonight, that's all. I had to wrap up a couple shows.
Gotcha.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I didn't make it out there tonight, but I sort of miss it in a way.
All right, so what's on your mind?
Okay, it was very interesting to see the Penguins come back come from behind to get that extra point. That really impressive.
Now, which game are you referring to?
I'm referring to pretty much all of them. That's
Yeah, really.
Seemed like they all ended up.
Well, the Tuesday game against
Tuesday game was very
Boston
impressive.
and the Thursday game against Toronto were both late third period comebacks. And
Right.
I didn't think they had the way the Tuesday game was going, I didn't think they had a chance. But Mike Lennon kept saying that the Bruins looked tired. They played the night before and the legs were leaving them and they couldn't and they were slower and slower as the game went on and man, they get one goal and then they just open it up and a top line is just going crazy. They need to get Malkin back for James Neal's peace of mind, though. I know what Tony was saying earlier, and I agreed with him about the defense they play when he's not there. But I think Neal only has 1 point since Gino went out this time, and he really relies on him. And I was even saying, depending upon how long he'd be out, you may want to move Sutter up with Neal just for some time, or play him with Mario once in a while, just to try to get him going because Dustin Jeffrey, Mario Sid. Now that was a great Freudian slip. That was a great Freudian slip. But because Dustin Jeffrey's just not going to cut it there.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Mario or Malkin was out the rest of the season the way things are going.
No.
I don't think so. He started skating, Chris, and they said it was an upper body injury, but they wouldn't. Everybody seemed to think it was a shoulder, I guess. I've been out of town, but
I know you were in Florida. I was there last week.
But they don't seem to saying they haven't been saying that that was another concussion issue is what I was getting at, and that's what would worry me. And I mean he got hit pretty hard and went down, and but it doesn't seem to be it. And the Letang one's kind of a question mark too. I haven't seen any. I think we kicked around everything of what those could be. So
I think we're
right now
in Washington. What do you think?
What's that, Chris?
I think we're going to hit the wall when we hit Washington Capitals. I think
we ought to be able to handle that team, but the way they're playing. But I would be a little concerned about maybe Wednesday or Friday night against the Islanders at the Island. Can sometimes give you fits. And then Sunday they're home against the Flyers. And even though
I
it's a home game,
Flyers game, that's the one that gets me because they rarely win. The Penguins rarely win at Consol Energy with the Flyers.
Exactly, and that's the point. That's their second home. They won the first game ever played there, and I think they've won 9 times there in just a brief history that the arena's been open. So the Flyers play well there, even when they're not. Hey, it's very interesting. The Islanders are ahead of the Flyers in the standings right now. And
so let me ask you this:
no one saw that coming.
If the Penguins do get into the playoffs, how do you think it's going to look? I mean, how's the opposition going to go before they finally win the Stanley Cup?
I think it's going to depend on what the roster looks like, Chris. The trading deadline's coming up on April the 3rd, which is just 2 weeks away, really.
They're not really looking to make big moves.
I think they'd make 1 or 2 if they were available to them. I think there are people that they'd be willing to get rid of. The roster, as it is right now, is not going to win a Stanley Cup, and I feel very confident in saying that.
Oh, you feel confident in saying that, but I just wondered, what's the way it's going to be set up right now before they can go down to the final?
I think they need a big defenseman, and I think they need to get a little bit tougher. And
I'm not talking about
they need to beef up the bottom of the roster from the bottom up. Maybe 1 more wing or 2. I think Bo Bennett's played well, but an experienced guy wouldn't hurt.
Who do you think the other teams are going to be?
Well, I think they'll be battling out with Boston. I really think Boston's the best team.
You're staying in the East for this question?
I'm going to stay in the East right now. I think Boston is the best team other than Pittsburgh. I think that the Canadians have played well, but they're not exactly battle-tested in the playoffs, although Mike Therrien's a very good coach, X's and O's wise. He'll have those guys ready because they're not sick of hearing from him yet.
Yeah, let's talk about the opposition.
So those are the 2 things. Boston, Montreal, and then you also got to look at, as the playoffs come up, who's playing well. Because the Kings did it last year, somebody can sneak up, grab that 8th spot, and go all the way to the finals. The Kings won the Cup from the 8th spot last year, and a couple of years ago, the Flyers went to the finals from the 8th spot. It can happen.
All right, Chris, let's do some trivia.
To exactly where you might think they might go as far as the playoffs is concerned?
Well, I don't know who they're going to play. It's still too early to tell. I mean, it's
way too early.
Way too soon because those seeds get jumbled up to the last day, and we're still 6 weeks away, 8 weeks away.
Well, you'd say till about the middle of June anyway.
Right.
Okay, Chris, let's do some trivia.
Please.
Multiple choice. We go with number 7 to start with. And
I don't have a screen to look at tonight, so we'll try it this way.
Okay. Who was on the mound for the Brooklyn Dodgers when the Yankees hurler Don Larson threw his perfect World Series game? And here are the choices. Billy Lowe's, Sal Magley, Ralph Branca, and Don Newcomb.
I'm going to try Don Newcomb.
Well, Chris, unfortunately incorrect. It turns out to be Sal Magley.
Okay.
All right.
The barber.
All right, talk to you guys next week.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Paul, you want to give it a shot? We're going to go to the studio audience right now, and Paul's here. Paul, good to have you. Thanks for making the trip up here tonight.
Just wondering what 2 teams do you think will make the World Series this year?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Boy, we're way out.
We're way
I know
out.
it's way too early. Speaking.
Oh, no. I think my early favorite in the National League is Washington.
Right.
I'd love to see that.
I think the Nationals, they're loaded up and ready to go.
Only because we're not going anywhere.
No, I mean, I think the Pirates might be able to come up with a winning record this year. I think they may be able to do it. But
yeah, go Expos.
Are but the thing about the Nationals is they're going to have to come out of that division. The Braves have loaded up. The Braves are very good. The Phillies are playing spring training like that they're going to be serious from the first day they showed up. The game I saw, they played other than one player, they played their starters the whole 9 innings.
Ooh.
Now, not the pitcher, but
right.
They had to line up out there, the regular guys, and they play. So the Phillies are serious. I think that's going to be a tough division for the Nats to get out of. But I think they're the main competition there. And then the Dodgers have spent all the money.
Right.
But much like the Blue Jays in the American League, I don't know what that means exactly. You can collect a bunch of guys, but that doesn't mean you have a team.
Right.
So in the Giants, you can't discount the Giants.
No.
Nobody repeats anymore. That's why I guess you would
watch
discount the
St. Louis.
And the Cardinals, Chris Carpenter, no. They can win the division. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. The Reds,
I got to be honest with you, Paul. I haven't even given it thought because the season hasn't started yet. But if you look at the what the odds makers do in Nevada, and they start doing the early stuff, and I don't know, but much too early.
Yeah, I hear Indians are improved.
Yeah, the Indians are improved.
And
I'm glad to hear that too.
And the Cubs will still be
The Cubs.
50 wins.
The Cubs will still be the Cubs. American League wise, Angels spent all the money, right?
Good guys. I mean, White Sox.
Good guys. I'm not. I don't think. I think they made their run last year and kind of petered out.
Yeah, I was thinking the Braves and maybe Indians or maybe your favorite Yankees.
I don't know about anybody in the American League East, to be honest with you. I don't know how that's going to play out because Toronto spent all the money.
Right.
The Yankees were basically outspent by the Pirates this winter. Everybody loves that Russell Martin was, the Pirates had to outspend the Yankees to get Russell Martin. The Orioles look like they're going to bring back the same group, and people are discounting them, and I wouldn't do that. I think any of the 5 teams actually could win that division, which is strange as it might sound. Yeah, even the Red Sox. Yeah. The Red Sox, if their pitchers are healthy, I really like their chances. I don't know that I like anybody out of the Central except for maybe Detroit. I saw Detroit the other day, but what do you know? I mean,
you see Jim Leland?
They look. I did see Jim Leland. I said hi.
Is he still smoking, by the way?
Not on the field, he wasn't. But Rafael Belliard was coaching first base.
Oh, gosh.
And Gene Lamont was in the dugout.
He still lives in Latrobe, I believe, or Ligonier.
Really, but those guys are all good shape. But the Tigers are another possibility in the American League. So that's all I got right now. It's kind of early to tell, but I like the Nationals. If I was going to go out on a limb and I was going to go to Vegas and plunk down a $10 bill, I think I might put it on the Nats.
Yeah. Big spender.
Yeah, that's
big spender.
I'm not a good gambler. That's why I don't gamble much.
Yeah. I was thinking the Braves, and it's wide open in the American.
I like your Braves pick. I think that's a good pick. I think that division is going to be tough, and you're going to have to be a good team to get out of there this year.
Right.
By the way, I don't want to let this guy
Don't
off the
discount
hook,
the
Mike.
Phillies either.
I don't want to let this guy off the hook.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about this.
Because last week you weren't here.
Right.
But Paul came up with a great idea. If we were to pick, if we could have our Mount Rushmore of play-by-play announcers,
right,
who would the 4 heads be? So we came up. How many did you count that we had? 20-something?
Yeah, there were over 20 there.
Maybe 30.
That's
anyway.
Milo's predictions.
Exactly. And folks, the way it turned out was that we kind of agreed on, and I don't think you'd disagree, Bob Prince.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
You won't?
No, I can't. I love Bob Prince.
Dan Kelly.
Dan Kelly was a good pick from the Blues, right?
All right. Ray Scott.
Ray Scott, another one.
We're leaving the 4th one open. Now, here's where I got my criticism this week between last week and this week's show. How could you leave off Vin Scully? Are you crazy?
Or Howard Cosell.
But Howard, I thought we agreed last week we were looking for
play-by-play.
Play-by-play, although Howard did some boxing.
Right.
And that was on his own.
Right.
That's not enough, and it's...
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. And maybe I'll do this for next week, and I'll actually seriously think about it. Everybody out there, seriously, come up with, let's see if we can narrow it maybe to a football announcer, a baseball announcer, a hockey announcer, and a basketball announcer. And if you can narrow it to one out of all the 4 major sports,
right,
and come up with your 4 there of all time, Vin Scully would be.
I'm sure he'd
Ernie Harwell might be on mine too.
See, there's another one. Oh,
I met Ernie Harwell. He was super. Oh, was he the greatest? I love that guy. He was so nice. He talked to me like I was his long-lost best friend. He never met me before. He didn't know me from Adam.
A book of Mountain Rushmores.
The Mount Rushmores. So
maybe we need at least 8 to 10 heads.
Yeah, and
how can you take
Keith Jackson? If I'm going for a football announcer, I might want Keith Jackson.
How can you decide really between the 3? Bob Prince, Vin Scully, and Ernie Harwell.
Those are hard.
And then you've got Callis.
Harry, definitely.
Carey, St. Louis.
There were so many. Jack Buck in St. Louis was outstanding.
We didn't even mention Mal Allen from last
How about Red Baba?
Red Baba.
Wow.
Another one.
Yeah. And it goes on and on. So, Paul, you opened up a can of worms. Right. But, hey, it was good to talk about it. Right. You were thinking about the mystery profile.
Yes, I'd like to try that.
Michael, you want to...
Shall we?
Take him through the garden.
We're not going to have to go very far.
In other words, he's telling you he thinks this one's easy.
I'm predicting you hit it out of the park. I'm going to lob it up softly. Did you ever see The King in His Court, Paul?
Excuse me?
The King in His Court, Eddie Feiner, the softball He did the four-man softball team.
Okay.
He had a shortstop, a catcher, and a first baseman.
And he would throw fastballs. Oh, he was great. And they toured around. They played at Valley High School. I saw them once. They played a whole team, 4 guys against the whole team. They couldn't hit him. I was going to say, I'm going to give you a reverse Eddie Feiner. I'm going to lob it up.
Now, here's what happened before we get to this mystery profile. They took Eddie Feiner and a bunch in his team to play against some Hollywood stars who just wanted to get a game together. And they had no clue who Eddie Feiner was. And he went out, and I'm trying to remember who these guys were, but they were the big names in Hollywood. And they went out there with, they had their stuff. Eddie Feiner just shut him down. But anyway, what was the purpose of you asking?
I said, but I was going to do the reverse Eddie Feiner. I'm going to lob it up instead.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go, Paul. Now, the first one, these are for Matteo's, of course. The Matteo's Mystery Profile. Here we go. $100 clue.
All right.
I have the only Hall of Fame plaque with a New York Mets cap.
Tom Seaver?
I told you.
$100.
I told
Did I
you.
win?
You got it.
You are the wiener, Mr. Paul.
$100 in gift prizes.
That means-
Congratulations.
This
Thank
means
you.
Paul.
We'll give him the other clue.
Paul's,
Just for the
Paul's
heck of
buying
it.
at the draft tomorrow. I was my league's Rookie of the Year in 1967.
Tom Seaver?
We know this now. Okay.
Oh, don't add the prizes, Paul, please.
Okay, Sparky, cool it off over there. I won 3 Cy Young Awards. I signed a rookie contract with the Atlanta Braves.
Tom Seaver.
And which I didn't know, and I am known as Terrific Tom. Tom Seaver, one of the great right-handed pitchers of all time, and still to this day, elected to the Hall of Fame with the highest percentage of votes on the first ballot of any inductee.
How about that? Hey, congrats, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
All
All right,
right,
have a
we
good
got to
day.
take a break, by the way. We have a couple of people on hold,
lined
so
up.
let's do the break, and Mike and I are coming right back. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
Max and his son made their way homeward bound when mischievous rain dropped down, down, down. Safety was threatened by every roguish drip. They slipped and slid. They couldn't get a grip. Then along came the Michelin Man, reminding them the right tire changes everything. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. You got to like shopping at Tower Auto Sales for your pre-owned vehicle. Make your next selection right there. Tower Auto Sales with 3 indoor showrooms, pardon me, a full-service facility with an experienced staff with all makes and models, and Lexus products are featured as well. Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. Give Mike Fano a call, 412-828-6202. Okay, well, we're going to go to the Limo Man.
We are. He's ready for us.
Who's on the phone? Limo Man, good evening.
This is Limo Man.
Coming in loud and clear tonight, Limo. How are you?
Couldn't be better talking to Big Bad Bob with his new hat and Michael.
How you doing?
Speaking of the new hats, we're going to show one of these.
They are cool. I wore it all day.
This is nice. Now this is
They
have flip down sunglasses.
Yeah, we're going to try to find a way to.
Bill's going to.
we're going to try to find a way to give these away on the air. Okay? Now, Sports World is the name of the radio show that we do.
If you have a boat or something, and you want to go out on the boat,
will flip up.
You want to go out on the boat or on the golf course, and you want to keep the sun off your head, as I was unsuccessful in doing. You take that and you flip, and there's a pop, Bob. If there's a fly ball, you just flip down the sunglasses.
Right.
You're playing in the Sunday softball.
Look good in that.
Works out.
Okay.
Limo, I saw the Phillies last week.
Did you hear Scott Fransky?
No, you know what? I didn't pick up any radio or audio. I have seen Tom McCarthy on TV already this year, but they're playing for Sirius in spring training. They played their whole team 9 innings.
Yeah, I know.
And Ryan Howard has more bats than anybody in the Grapefruit League. They're playing him a lot.
When like the Pirates are home in Bradenton, sometimes they play the DH when they don't have to do that. Why is that?
Interesting. You know, and it's funny you mentioned it. The game that I was at, the Pirates played the Phillies at Clearwater. Phillies the home team. The Phillies used the DH and the Pirates let the pitcher hit. And they give you the leeway to do it. I guess both managers have to agree, depending upon who's playing. Like if say for the Pirates that day, Kyle McPherson was starting, and in case he makes the team, they wanted him to get up there to bat just to get some swings in. And luckily, the 2 times he came up to the plate, there was a guy on first, so we got to sacrifice bunt 2 times in a live game action against live pitching, which worked out well. Charlie Manuel, on the other hand, had Aaron Cook pitching, and he wanted to have whoever he had being his DH that day, just wanted to get extra at-bats for that guy. And so as long as the managers agree, you can do it any way you want. I heard there was once this spring where Buck Showalter didn't let somebody didn't let Buck use the DH in the National League Park. Just didn't make any sense. It's like, you're really not trying to win these games other than...
Right. You want to see what they can do.
You're trying to see your people and trying to get them in as many situations that are like a real game situation as possible. And that's why they do that. But it's funny you mentioned it, because that game, the Phillies did use a DH.
Okay. On AM 1210, of course, the big talker.
The big talker. Limo, I listen to Sid Mark Sunday morning.
Yeah, he's great, isn't he?
I love it.
Every Sunday.
They moved him back to 9 o'clock, but that's okay. That's a Sinatra show.
His real name is Sidney Markowitz.
How old
nice Jewish boy.
How old would you say he is, Limo? Since
about 83.
He has been doing this show.
Scully's age.
He's been doing the Frank Sinatra show on the same station in Philadelphia since 1956.
Oh boy.
That's right. Yeah,
well, no,
got to get WJAS to bring him back.
I know. What's going on with that? That's bad.
They have somebody else with Sinatra, and they probably got him cheaper.
That's probably what happened. I didn't like it.
I missed his age when one of you were giving...
83, he says. And I said that makes sense.
I thought he said 93.
No, 83.
And he's still good. He sounds exactly the same as he did when I first started listening when he was on JAS. He's terrific.
Yeah. He lives near where Harry used to live, over near Media, PA.
Oh, there you go. So I saw... So the Phillies look good. They're trying hard to get themselves back that swagger a little bit. They had a different. Freddie Galvis played shortstop because Jimmy Rollins was still at the World Baseball Classic, but they played the troops. So.
And how about Hall of Famer Franco Harris, 63 years old?
Happy birthday, Big Franco there.
And Lynn Swan, 61.
It's amazing. All those guys are that age.
74.
It's amazing those guys are that age.
I thought we weren't going to do birthdays anymore. What happened?
They're going to be another Bob Chattern. They're going to get younger instead of older.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
Let's reverse the aging process, shall we?
And the NFL with club spending power. Are you ready for this? The Cleveland Browns have $47.5 million to spend. Miami Dolphins, $31.3 million.
After
the Tampa Bay Bucks, $32.2 million.
And they won't spend any of it.
No. And the Indianapolis Colts, $37.5 million. The Eagles, $34.2 million. New England, $26.4 million.
That's amazing.
Buffalo,
That's amazing. The Patriots have that much left.
Buffalo Bills, $21.9 million. Seattle Seahawks, $15.4 million. Atlanta Falcons, $20.3 million.
Okay, let me stop.
Tennessee.
Let me stop you there. What do the Steelers have left?
$1.4 million.
Yeah, they probably have more than that now after they cut some people, but
by now, yeah.
Yeah, because with Harrison gone and all the rest. But that's interesting. Some of the ones you mentioned, because I heard a lot of Tampa radio this past week, and they're the same way. It's like the Bucks can have all the money they want under the cap. They aren't spending it. They're just going to pretty much draft some guys and see what happens because the Glazers are tight with the Bucks.
The announcer is for the Tampa Bay.
I know Todd Callis is on Tampa Bay TV.
Todd Callis.
Right.
I talked to him last week.
Seems like a fine fellow.
He really is a fine fellow.
They have a nice team,
too. He really is.
We should have mentioned them. The Tampa Bay Rays will always be involved as long as Joe Madden's there. We'll throw them into our American League discussion when we finally decide.
You're right. And Tennessee Titans, 18.6. The Vikings, 14.8. And I talked to already about 2 weeks ago to Francis Tarkenton. Runs an investment club company in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Baltimore Ravens, $10.7 million. The Jaguars, $28.1 million.
Hello, they won't spend any there either.
Kansas City, $17.8. Cowboys, $56.8.
Wow.
Chargers, $10 million. Redskins, $2.1 million. Houston Texans, $8.3 million. Carolina, $3.5 million. Steelers, I told you, 1.4. Arizona, 3.3. Oakland Raiders, 6.2. Jets, 6.3. Very close there.
Yeah.
Giants, 10 million. New Orleans, 6 million.
When's this going to end?
Niners, 5 million.
We're getting closer.
Lions, 6 million. Packers, 19 million, and the Broncos, 7.6 million.
Now, some of those
That changed.
Yeah, some of those will change, but some of them will just keep getting bigger because some of these teams just won't spend. It's funny, but
Dallas
you can have the money. Yeah, Dallas and the Redskins is interesting too. The Redskins don't have much, and they got hit with some sanctions by the league because of spending over. I think the Cowboys did too. So we'll see where that ends up. That's still kind of in litigation with the league. I don't know where that's going to end up, but the Steelers ought to be in better shape now than they were before. But now the question is, do they have as good of a team as they did before? And that remains to be seen. When
I don't know.
You talk about the draft. I don't know where they're going to go. There are any number of places they need help now.
Steelers should have gone after Antoine Bolden. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, that was exactly. But they weren't going to trade him in the division. So. All right, Limo, let's get to trivia.
He's not eligible.
I'm not eligible.
Oh, you're a winner. I missed that.
But I will wear the hat to the auto auction tomorrow.
That's beautiful. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Bruce, for the call.
Bye.
All right, we're going to take a break, and I'll tell you why. We've got Bob on the line.
Yeah, hang in there, Bob.
And if we put him on now, we're going to cut him off in about a minute. So, Robert, hang in there. And Mike and I will return more on Sportsline right after this. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a fourth generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from two locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Faldarelli Square. Well, we had a winner earlier on tonight's mystery profile, a matter of fact. A $100 winner.
Negotiations are ongoing as we speak.
Anyway, Mattio's Pizza and Subs makes the mystery profile possible. and we wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. They're at their new location, Broadview Boulevard in Brackenridge Heights, right at the traffic light, where the business of McCullough Florist once stood.
How about that?
And right next to, District Magistrate is the terminology for the Carolyn Bengal office up there. They're right next door. Just trying to get you a roadmap to where it is. Okay, we're going to go to the phones, and Bob patiently awaited. Robert, good evening.
How we doing, guys?
How you doing, Bob?
All right. I was just, wanted to comment on Pitt. Now, I know that they're not a strong team. That they're not equipped to make a long run or anything, but it just cracks me up that almost every year people complain and they whine. But when I think their final top 25 ranking, they were like 23rd or so. And they said today there was 11 teams that were behind them, and of those 11 teams, there was something like 9 of them that weren't even ranked. And I just wonder. And then on top of that, not only being the 4th seed in the Big East, they're playing out in the Western bracket against out in Salt Lake City, Utah. I don't understand. Now, you got to play the cards you're dealt. You're not, if you spend more time worrying about it as a player, you're going to get beat. But I don't understand their thought process. What do you guys think?
I don't get it either. And I sat there stunned for about 15 minutes last night. And normally I don't like to be, I don't like to be the whiner when it comes to stuff like this and complain about seedings and where they put you and all of that. But I mean, somebody explained to me, and you start looking at some of the seeds that, so Memphis is clearly better than Pitt. St. Louis is clearly better than Pitt. You start going down the lines and start looking. Creighton is clearly better than Pitt. This is what they're saying. And they said, well, and the media jumped on this non-conference schedule thing before the season started, which I think was one of the biggest red herrings I ever heard in my life. And because, they use Middle Tennessee as an example. Well, they went outside and they scheduled some good non-conference games. How many? Was it like 18 really tough conference games like you play in the Big East? I mean, did they play Syracuse twice?
I love when people say non-conference game. Well, okay, you can compare that, but, what are there, 20 games or 18 games in the Big East schedule? I don't know what they are.
18.
Do me a favor and ask those other teams, do they play that grueling of a schedule? And the answer is heck no. So
no, I mean,
you go out and you schedule 1 or 2 teams that are a little bit above Pitt's non-conference schedule, but yet they get penalized. But Alabama, who I like in football, and the football powerhouses, on their 1 or 2 weeks a year that they get an opportunity, they go out and schedule little sisters at a four.
Sure.
But guess what? They play in the SEC or they play in the SEC or they play in powerful conferences where that should not be held that much against them, because night in and night out they're playing them. They're having a much more daunting task.
I'm looking at the list. San Diego State? San Diego State is clearly better than Pitt. This is what you're saying. Illinois. Now, I understand that the Big Ten had a good year this year. Pitt was 4th in the Big East, and that's good enough for an 8 seed. Now, I realize where they put them.
Georgetown a 2 seed?
And Marquette's a 3?
Yeah, but they beat Georgetown by what, 35 on their home court?
On their home court.
I mean, what do you need to do?
And Cincinnati. Cincinnati with like a 6? You kidding?
Yep.
I
don't understand.
It doesn't compute with me. It just doesn't. I thought, okay, they lost to Syracuse, who happened to be on a roll at the time and was playing well. They lost to Syracuse, and who was one of the top 5 teams in the country for most of the season. And that means, okay, if they'd have won the thing, what would they have been? Would they have been a 6 maybe, if they're lucky?
Yeah.
I don't get it, Bob. I don't.
On the positive side, I mean, trust me, they have all the flying out west. They have the ability to lose by 20 on Thursday. But if they can somehow win, all these years of teams getting shipped to different locations and playing on other teams, basically home courts, they potentially have a big opportunity with Gonzaga in the second round.
But of course, I don't think it'll get that far, because Pitt loses in the NCAA tournament when they're wearing their white uniforms.
Yeah, Yeah, and when they go out west, though, I mean, they lost to the likes of Pacific and others. When
I
they
remember
go
the
out west,
Pacific
so.
one. Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was in first round. They lost to Pacific. I think that's the only other time they got knocked out.
And just a quick comment on the Buccos. I know that that's my passion, but Garrett Cole and Marte playing a full healthy season with Alvarez and Walker and McCutcheon getting a year older. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they're going to win a division or anything, but I think it's going to be exciting, and especially Garrett Cole, because when you have a young flamethrower with a bulldog mentality on the mound, he's going to make A.J. Burnett better, McDonald better, Liriano better. Those types of players, when they come up, they put a shot of adrenaline
They do.
and enthusiasm to that team.
Well, my question would be, when's he going to get here? That's the thing. I guess you could probably wait till about May 1st and you're safe. But
the problem is with that, I don't know what day it is, but that whole arbitration thing, after a certain day, it doesn't count towards a year of service.
Right.
And that drives me nuts, because if he's the best, one of the top 5 arms, which, you know, a knucklehead will know he's one of the top 5 arms, he should be there on opening day. Maybe with a couple injuries that are jumping up, maybe he does break that opening day, but my guess will probably be 1 minute after that arbitration deadline's up.
Right. They already sent him. They sent him down this morning.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, they did. But here's if they have to wait until the service year, because it's only like a 3 weeks or a month wait, and if they wait 3 weeks or a month, they have him for a whole other year. You get him for 6 years and 5. You get him for 6 years and 5 months.
And if you want to talk about not just 500, but winning a division, that's what's 3 weeks.
3 or 4 starts. I'm talking 3 or 4. You miss him for 3 or 4 starts and get him for a whole other year. You have to do that. And I don't care about the arbitration part. I don't want them waiting till that. That's just a money decision. The other thing is what all the teams have done. They did it with Longoria. They did it with Mike Trout. I mean, they've done this. The good teams have done this with their top prospects. They've waited until they make sure they get the extra year of service time, because having him at his age 28 year, a full year at age 28, because you know he's gone after it because Boris is his agent. He's not going to stay. So having him for 6 years and 5 months is a lot better than just having him for 6 years.
Bob, let me interrupt only because we're running out of time. If you want to do trivia.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That mystery profile.
It's gone. Right? And it's gone, and it's won.
Okay.
It's gone, and it has been won for the full 100.
That's cool.
Flip over all the cards.
All right. What do you want to? You want to do?
You want to do a salami?
Yeah, I might as well take a shot at it. I doubt it, but we'll go for it.
All right.
Your turn then.
Yeah. Number 4 is taken, so you can have 1 through 3 or number 5.
We'll do number 5.
Number 5. All right, Bob. Here we go. What Notre Dame star won the Heisman Trophy in 1940?
Jesus. Honestly, I'll just save you the 30 seconds.
What was that again?
I said I'll save you the 30-second countdown. I have zero clue.
Okay.
Let's give him a hint, and we get just one hint. His daughter married Ricky Nelson. Does that help?
I think it might have made it worse. No, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
He was a broadcaster.
I found an error.
Uh-oh.
What Michigan star won the Heisman Trophy in 1940?
It's not Notre Dame?
No, it sounded funny to me. That's why I looked it up.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, Robert. We'll give you an extra time here.
It's a Michigan. It's what Michigan star won the Heisman Trophy in 1940?
Oh, Michigan. Oh, wow. I was trying to go through.
You're going to throw the Irish ones. I saw the name, and I go, I don't think that's right.
Yeah. I messed it up, too.
1940. My goodness.
Time's up.
I don't know.
Tom Harmon. Tom Harmon's the answer.
I was going to say that, but you cut me off.
Oh, sure. You're welcome. Thanks, Bob.
I'd have been here for 3 months and I'd have never got that. But,
all right.
Hey, we got to go.
We got to wrap.
Thanks.
Robert, thanks for the call. And
Bye-bye.
Paul, thanks for stopping
Thanks,
up
Paulie.
tonight. here at the studio. Got to run. We're going to see you next week at the same time. I'm Bob Tatter.
I'm Mike Pavlik.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.